Hey, my name's Houston. This is my Toyota truck, kind of an adventure filmmaker, and for the better part of the last year, I've been calling this place home. So this is Todd. He's a Toyota T100. This is my dog. He just wanted to come for a car ride. Crashing at the parents right now. And yeah, this has been home on and off for the better part of last year. Todd's gone through a couple renovations. When I got it about a year ago, it was a landscaper's truck. So none of all the shit you see in it right now was in here. It was just kind of an empty shell. So first off, the first adventure this guy went through was Burning Man. So we made a pretty simple installation of one board all the way through. We had a massive bed up top and just all the storage space you could want underneath. It worked pretty well. We had 2 people, so we were able to store a ton of stuff, but it was an absolute nightmare to get things in and out of the truck. Like, we'd have like our food at the very end, and like we'd have to like slide people in and out to like grab the tomatoes, or the drone was like stuck under all the whatever. It was just filled with like surfboards and costumes and all that jazz. So since it's just been me in here for the last about 9 months or so, we stripped out half of this here. So to the untrained eye, it may look like an unorganized mess, but it's very functional. I know where everything is. We got our military suitcases here. These have all my lovely filmmaking toys. Here's Jerome the drone. And we got the cameras in the other one there. Welcome to take a closer look at those later. We've got our makeshift beach floaty shopping cart strung around with pool noodle. You can attach it to the back of your floaty Explorer 200 and keeps your beverages cold and follows you around. You can attach it. We've got our clothes here, a little hockey bag, so slides in, slides out. It's been a pretty minimal year. Every month or so I'm just kind of cutting out the stuff I don't use, so the clothes have been a pretty minimal, all just white t-shirts.
So were you inspired to live a minimalist lifestyle before buying this truck?
No, I was just broke. And I definitely like the feeling of kind of streamlined life, you know, nothing cluttered up, but mainly I just needed a cheap truck. This one popped up on Used Victoria, and I took it the next day, and just snowballed from there. It's just kind of been building one on top of the other, I guess, if that makes any sense. I want to be ready for any adventure that comes through, so we put up some railings here, and that's been pretty handy to kind of hang up the backpacks and some of the more clunky coats. Each one has their own little fun bag in here. I got my tripod and ice axe, crampons on this one. Doing some ice climbing a bit in Banff this summer. Got frisbee, got some goggles for swimming, a little bit of climbing. I don't climb that much, but whenever I can. The great thing about living in your truck is you slowly start to lose all self-respect. So in the last couple months I've been able to pull off these toe shoes, which are horrendous, but they're also awesome. These were life-saving, absolutely life-saving in winter. These little booties. They're like walking on sunshine. Walking around camp, semi-waterproof, great for not freezing your butt off. Just a little sleeping bag, pretty minimal here. This mattress is also not the greatest, but does the job. It's semi-waterproof, so I've been able to kind of pull this thing out sometimes in the summer and just sleep under the stars, catch some shooting stars. Some railings here on this side too, chalk bag, probably got some toiletries and lighters and sunscreen in here. Usually hide some goodies under here, incense and other burnables, funnies, munchies.
What do you do for like cooking?
So like I said, I live in this thing probably for 3/4 of last year. Anytime I can, I'll mooch off other people and steal their kitchen. Stay in there, goodie. But when I need to, I also have to keep this open. I got a little cook stove, nothing fancy, just a little propane burner. Flip it up. Got the double burner situation here. But honestly, I don't use this thing too much. Usually I have to bang out anywhere between like 6 and 8 hours editing a day, whether it be like passion projects or client projects. So I usually get a coffee and like a sandwich at a coffee shop. And when I can, I'll make dinner plans with friends and hang out at their place. But I have lots of food, so this would be your go-to place in the zombie apocalypse. Just got some granola nuts. And this thing is just chock-a-block full of lots of oats, lots of beans, a little bit of tuna, peanut butter, huge thing of coconut oil. Been absolutely loving this. And just the essentials. When we're out camping, and love to camp a lot. Astronaut food, man. Can't go wrong with that.
Would you recommend somebody doing this?
It's been an adventure. I did it probably, depending on how you ask, either the best or the worst way, because I started in the winter, which was absolutely miserable. I spent some like negative 20 nights in Whistler in this thing. And between this pretty heavy duty sleeping bag and a big down jacket I called the burnt marshmallow, I managed, but it was pretty rough, especially with all my winter gear in here. So that sucked. It was necessary to kind of get my business off the ground, but if you're willing to put in the work, it's incredibly rewarding. Like, the lows are pretty low and the highs are very high. Just kind of outfitted, or actually my dad did it. I didn't do most of the woodworking on this. I'm really terrible when it comes to hand-on stuff, but he did a great job making a little curtain for me for my privacy. So I'm able to scout around and then just duck in. Pretty incognito. I used to have a ton of stickers on the outside of the truck. Ended up taking most of them off. It's a good way to get caught urban camping, I've found. I found a good way to kind of avoid getting caught is to stick some landscaping equipment just on the inside of this, as well as putting a tarp at the end where the cushion normally blocks out the light at the very end. That way people tend to think of you as just an innocent landscaper parked his truck instead of some sturdy bum hanging out in their car. So, pro tip from Houston. I guess this is where the magic happens. I've been using this a ton all year. This is basically all you really need after getting footage to make a living. A little bit of that. A ton of storage. I've been shooting all 4K for the last 2.5 years, so just terabytes on terabytes on terabytes. Beavis here, it's kind of faded, but that's Butthead. Got the mothership, that's 4 terabytes. This was going to be the fathership, but I ended up just spilling on it, so that was called Oops. A ton more. This has been a lifesaver because the car stereo has just slowly deteriorated to nothing. So this thing is much better than my sound system in the truck. Thanks, Amazon. One of the reasons I got it for so cheap is the guy I bought it off of ended up knowing him, but he got a puppy and she just tore this interior to shit. Like, this was all mangled. I've polished it off a little bit. All the switches, I've basically been, let's get a quick shot. All the switches have been basically completely mowed down on. So none of them really work. We've had to kind of put in some of our own buttons, which half of them have broke again since. But that's one of the reasons Todd was a pretty cheap buy. The interior has seen better days. But Does the job. Toyota T100. You may have never heard of it. That's because it's a discontinued model. It wasn't quite manly enough to capture the North American truck market. So the T100 was soon replaced by the Tacoma. But she's got, or he, Todd, got a small engine. It's got a massive back to it, single cab. So it's pretty light, gets great fuel mileage. Won't be the fastest going up any high passes on your road trips, but it'll get you there, and it'll get you there pretty cheap. He's a 93, same as me, till infinity.
Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you want to find more, where can they go?
You just type in my name into the internet, that'll probably get you most of the way there. Houston, just like Texas, and last name Paquette. P-A-Q-U-E-T-T-E.
You post on YouTube?
I do, yeah, I got a couple channels, but they can probably find it all on my main one there.
Links in the description as well if you struggle with typing.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Forrest the Filmmaker here. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Every single Monday I release another one of these alternative dwelling documentaries. I also am starting to release stuff on Wednesday and hopefully Friday as well, get this up to 3 days a week. I just wanted to quickly thank my sponsors. And on this week's episode, my sponsor is me. In the link in the description is my new website, and it's in development, so there's a lot of stuff missing and a lot of things will be added to it, as well as getting a proper domain as well. But thanks to people like Houston and Dylan and Gabriel, I now feel inspired to start doing freelance again. It's been like a year and a half since I've done a freelance project for anybody, but I have started up my photography business and my videography business again. So in my website is kind of my rates and some of my stills and videos that I've done that showcase my work and my potential that I can do for people in my area. So if you guys know of anybody in Victoria or Vancouver Island that need those skills, I'm your man. Just recently I did a video shoot with my brother, and he is the owner of Hard Body Fitness. He hired me to do some photography for him for his website and his social media, and I'm going to continue doing some videography for him as well for a product that he is building. So go check out some examples of that work on my website, and thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Lots of new videos coming out, lots of new stuff changing here, but another episode next week for another alternative dwelling. Every Monday, yo.